Hello YouTube, it's Rob, Maxwell's Grass Cutting Services, based in the northeast of England. I hope everybody's well and having a great day as normal. Today's video, I want to talk about winter and how we get through the winter as a gardener. I get loads of questions sent to me, and the three most popular questions I get sent are: how much money do you make? What do you do during winter? And what is the minimum amount of kit I needed to get started to start earning money from gardening and cutting lawns, etc. But today we're going to talk about winter and how I get through winter. Now, everybody's different, and I know there'll be gardeners out there watching saying, well, I don't do that and I do this, but we're all different, and this is my take on it, and it's not set in stone, it's flexible. But before you know how you get through winter, you need to understand the gardening season, and I'll tell you my gardening season. Predominantly my business is made up of mowing lawns and garden maintenance, and it's a 34-week season, and that season starts about the third week in March, weather permitting, so I can get 2 cuts in March. And this year it started on the 15th of March, and it'll run all the way through 34 weeks until Friday the 5th of November 2021, weather permitting. So my customers know I'm going to come, my fortnightlies 17 times a year, and my weeklies know I'm going to come 34 times a year. Now, in my brain, what I want to do is extend that season to 40 weeks. And I'll tell you what I mean. I do weed and feed. Not all my customers, but some of them, and I do a spring, a summer, and a summer autumn, and that gives me enough money for, well, the equivalent money of what I earn for 1 week's gardening and mowing. So that brings the season up to 35 weeks, and then I try and pinch another 5 weeks from working between the 5th of November up till Christmas, and a little bit during January and February when it's tough. And how do I do that? Well, if you haven't seen a previous video, I do a video on marketing and how you get your first 20 customers. And we talk about Facebook business page, websites and stuff like that, and Google. So what I do is, come September, I start advertising, is your garden winter ready? Leaf clearance and winter hedge cuts. And I try and get as much work booked in from the second week in November all the way up till Christmas as possible. I've already got about 3 or 4 leaf clearance jobs booked in. I've got a couple of Leylandii hedges booked in, and as I'm going round now, I'm full. I've got my fortnightly round, and it repeats itself, and I'm not taking any more work on, and I'm comfortable with what I've got. But what I do say is, look, if you can wait until November, December, I'll give you a really good price. Now, a lot of gardeners are going to sort of shake their head at that, but it's my coping strategy to get through winter. And already I've got a couple of Leylandii hedges booked in, and I'll probably knock 20-30 quid off that hedge. But when I'm not mowing, you need to earn a living. So I'm comfortable that between November and December, I'm going to get enough work to stretch out that 35 week season of earning to 40 weeks. And you do get some in January and February, but it does go quiet. After Christmas, it's like somebody switches off the phone. But what I do is I try to be positive with my marketing strategy. Facebook business page, I get all the pages that I like to advertise, and I say, is your garden winter ready? Do you want any winter work? Now taking on hedges, clearances. Now, I appreciate that's weather permitting. We get a lot of frost, we get some weather. You wouldn't want to work in the garden. You'll do more damage than sort of positive things. But there is work out there, but it's slow. So how do you get through the winter months? Well, we'll talk money. And this isn't specific to me, but let's call this gardener Stephen. And Stephen does 5 days a week, and he does 34 weeks mowing. He does enough weed and feed, and then he does enough winter work to stretch his season to 40 weeks of earnings. And Stephen earns approximately £150 a day. So that's £750 a week times 40. That's about 30 grand, £30,000 gross. Now, Stephen works on a ratio of a third, so 10,000's to run his business, 20,000's in his pocket, net. And he divides that by 12 and he gives himself a wage of approximately £1,700. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to plan. You've got to be sort of well organised and spread what you're earning over 12 months. And I think a lot of businesses have to do that, don't they? Toy shops, I'm sure they make loads of money at Christmas, but then January, February again after Christmas, it'll be really, really quiet. So that's what I do. I have 3 accounts. I know, 3. One goes, all my customers pay me into account 1, we'll call it. And then I pay myself a monthly wage from account 1 to account 2, and that's my spend, and I pay my bills from it, etc. And then I have a third account, and I call that the winter account, and I try to squirrel away as much as I can for the winter. Well, you might say, well, why are you doing that for, Rob? You've got 12 monthly wages coming in, or pays coming in from your business. I know, but it's like a contingency because you just never know. Some years we can be really fortunate and we have a mild spring and you can get out there and the phone starts ringing in February and you can earn a few quid. But some, as you know, it can be cold, snowy, wet, damp, and that season, it takes a while to kick in, and it's tough. So you're not going to be a millionaire as a gardener, that's for sure. But you're working outside, you're working for yourself. You know, I think there's a real benefit to working for yourself. You're your own boss. I enjoy what I do. I love mowing lawns. I love gardening. I like the physical challenge of it all. I like coming home tired. But if you think about it, NHS, if you went to work to the NHS, they work on a band system, don't they? And a band 2. If you went to work at, let's say, the RVI hospital here, and you went into the reception as a receptionist or as a porter, you start off on a band 2 and you earn 18 grand a year gross. And that works out about, by the time you paid your tax, your national insurance, you're taking home about 1,200 quid a month. Now, if you up the grades to band 5, which is like a middle management job, you're in charge of a team, you're on 25 grand. But again, by the time you take your tax and insurance off, and your other off takes, you're taking home about 1,700 quid. Now, I know they're getting holiday pay, I know they've got the pension, I know they've got job security, but they're stuck in an office from 9 till 5, Monday to Friday. So that's not for me. Now, I know there'll be gardeners out there who are sort of well above the figures I've given you. There'll be gardeners who are well below. But when you start, you know, £100 a day, I remember I was working, I was, you know, earning £100 a day. I thought, this is hard work. But as you get more efficient, you buy better equipment, you get better customers, you do increase your daily rate. And I think the sort of golden nugget is try and get to 200 quid a day. And if you can get to 200 quid a day, 5 days a week, 40 weeks a year, that's 40 grand, isn't it? And if you can get your off takes down, you know, and try and net 30 grand a year, that would be lovely. And then you divide that by 12 and that gives you a nice living. Now, there's ways to increase that money. Hedge works, you know, it's lucrative. And like I say, you need a good marketing strategy. But the message of this video is you need a plan. You need to really look at how you're earning and what you're earning, and you need to divide it into 12, and you need to be well organized. Now, when you start a gardening business, it's probably better to plan it over the winter and start running in sort of March, April time. And then you've got all these new customers, you've got the phone ringing, and then you can run with it. Another way would be, if you've got a job and you can go reduced hours, reduce it down to 20 hours so you've still got some money coming in, and that'll get you through your first year, your second year, until you understand how much you can earn and how difficult the winter is. There's winter work as well, you know, winter jobs. A couple of years ago, I did take on a winter job driving for a local supermarket It was a nightmare. I didn't last very long. They were awful. It was a 0 hours contract. One day you get 2 hours, another day you get 3, and then they ring you up. It was just awful. So the year after, I worked super hard and put more money away, and I planned for the winter, and I managed to get through it. But this message is, it's tough, it's not easy, and you have to be organised. Otherwise, you can't spend everything. You'll end up skint during the winter, and that's probably the negative part of this business. I know we've got friends in Australia who have a 48-week gardening season. That must be wonderful. It doesn't happen in the UK, but you know, I know there's gardeners who work for big estates and they work all year round. That must be lovely. I don't. My customers are Mr. and Mrs. Cannybody, and they don't want you coming in January and February spending money for that. So it's about being organised. It's about trying to get through it and just doing your best, really. But for me, working for yourself and being self-employed and having nobody nag at you, and the variety, going out and doing what you do, I love it. And I couldn't go back to work in an office. It would do me head in. It would. So that's today. Winter. How do I get through winter? I hope I've helped. It is a hard time, but it's doable. And remember, we're now in June, so we're all smiling. The green gold is growing. We're mowing lawns. We're making money. But keep putting a little bit away for winter. All the best now. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Oh, one last thing. If you've liked what you've seen, please press the like button, subscribe. It helps me grow the channel. All the best now. Take care.